Okay, is anyone really surprised Tucker Carlson interviewed Vladimir Putin? I mean, we all know this guy loves dictators. And after getting fired from Fox, why not go to Russia? If you've watched my video of Scott Ritter, you know that Russia is basically a feeder for mediocre people who lose their jobs in America. So, yeah, this one gets a big yawn from me. Except, wait, Tucker has how many subscribers? Okay, you're really going to make me talk about this one now, because unfortunately, a lot of people are going to watch Tucker interview Putin. So, here's what you need to know. First of all, Tucker is not a journalist, as he claims. He's a propagandist. He lies for a living. And he's been clear from the beginning which team he's on in this fight.
I'll tell you why. And why shouldn't I root for Russia, which I am?
And no, Elon, that's not about defending free speech. Mr. Musk might be fooled by the fact that Putin just called him a very smart man, but Russia has no free speech. And the real American journalists in Russia, folks like Evan and Alcee Kumasheva, are in jail for doing their jobs, for asking the kinds of difficult questions that people like Tucker Carlson won't ask Putin, and the kind of questions that Putin won't allow. Next up, Tucker claims that no other Western media personality has bothered to interview Putin since Russia invaded Ukraine. That's not true. In fact, Tucker actually got a community note on X, sourced to the Kremlin spokesman, correcting him on this. I mean, how dishonest do you have to be to get fact-checked by the Kremlin? These are the people who practically invented lying. And by the way, where did that community note go, Elon? And finally, there's nothing new to learn from both Putin and his mouthpiece Tucker. Tucker says he wants to show you Putin's unseen perspective on the war in Ukraine. First of all, Russia's genocidal war record is well known to anyone who can Google Bucha, which Tucker, of course, didn't mention in his interview. You can actually read Putin's own speeches and rants giving his rationale for unleashing all hell on Ukraine in English. This stuff has been out there for everyone to see since before the invasion. And this interview, Tucker just sits there, mouth wide open, while Putin rambles on about 12 centuries of semi-fictional Russian history. I mean, go print off one of those Putin speeches and compare it to what he said in this interview. It'll be like playing bingo, except instead of crossing out B15, you'll be checking off weird conspiracy theories about artificial statehood of Soviet Ukraine and the neo-Nazis behind Zelensky, who is, Jewish. In fact, the best way to push back on Tucker's propaganda is actually to point out just how dull and unoriginal it is. Tucker and his boosters want you to see them as free thinkers, people who are going against the grain with something new. But what they're really doing is ripping you off with used goods. Don't get duped, people. Recognize Tucker for what he is, a con man. And let's send this huckster back to the used car dealership where he belongs.